the Executive Director for the Asian Business Association. So we want to welcome everybody and thank you for coming. We know that I think we had a few board directors. I think Elizabeth is in the room, it looks like. I think Linda was also here, our incoming board director, as well as Melissa. I think I see Eddie in here as well, but I just want to say hi. Hi. So anyways, if you want to say hi to each other, throw your name in the chat and your company name for that matter as well. You can put that in the chat. People know who you are, like Lynn just did just now. So it's kind of cool. Also, if you can see who they are. If you want to connect with them, but as a member of the association, you can connect with them. Make sure you log into our website. In our website, there's a membership directory. So after you log in, you can type in their name and you can also message them afterwards. So keep that in mind. You may not get their contact information in the chat. That's okay. But you can also get online and do that later on and message everybody. But before we begin, we want to take a minute to thank our partnership with PACE, pacela.org. PACE one who've been helping us put these together with their friends at Wells Fargo. But take a look at PACE. They do have a business development center there, so check them out. Also, we want to thank Southern California Edison for helping us out today as well, for being a sponsor. So before we start the program, and I know I'm going to turn this program to our speaker tonight, we want to wish everybody a very special happy holiday. Stay resilient out there. We know that it's been a challenging year. We really want to see you in person next year. So get your booster shots and hopefully we'll see more of you next year. But so next year, January 27th, we will have a New Year's mixer. I think James was asking about when was our next event. So next year, January 27th, New Year mixer, we'll have one. And ABA will buy your first round of drinks when you come. We also have a young entrepreneur event. If you know anybody who's 30 and under, who's a young entrepreneur, we like to feature them. So let us know who they are so we can talk to them about being featured as our young entrepreneur. March of next year is our golf tournament. So March is our golf tournament, and then April is our minority certification workshop, and May is our women symposium. There's a lot of stuff we've been doing. So really want to thank you guys for doing that. And again, thanks again for PACE LA, as well as Wells Fargo for your help in supporting us. One things if you can do, I know it's sort of that holiday season, if you can help us out, and some of you already done so, do leave us a comment on Google. That will help other people find us. So think about this as you do something for us. It helps other people find where we are, so then we can help them as well as their businesses and whatnot. So please help us do that. We'll put the link in the chat as well. Bianca, if you can help me out with that. I know, look at that thing. It's kind of funky, but just click on it and leave us a review. But in our effort to help our economy and its recovery, we know that having a business nowadays, it's really difficult, right? We need to empower ourselves and for you to live out your American dream. Some businesses did close their door. That's a fact. But we also know there's a high rate of businesses just starting. So most of us will need to know what do we need to do. And as they transition to move their businesses, they must have a website. I think the first thing people do is they say your name, or they'll search your name to see if they can find you or not. So development of that website, its functionality, make sure the compliance as well as security, in this case, cybersecurity, is so important. And we're very lucky to have James Shea. So James Shea is not only co-chair of the Asian Business Association, he's also the CEO and founder of Cybertegic. You may have heard him before, but it's always good we can narrow down on some of the things that will be helpful for your businesses as you develop and better your website. Without any further delay, James, how are you?
Hey Dennis, how are you?
I'm good. Did you watch the latest Bond movie?
I did, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I did cry at the end of the movie. But I highly encourage everybody to go watch that movie. It's a great movie. It's an awesome movie.
Well, hey, thank you for your time and your team's effort to be here with us this evening. Really want to thank you for the information. I'd like to turn the program over to you if you can kind of help us how to build a business winning website. We got to be a winner here, right?
Gotta
Is
be a
that what
winning
it is?
website. Have to be a winning website.
All right,
So
take it away, James. Thank you.
no problem. Hello, everybody. Good evening. And I'm glad that we get this opportunity to share our expertise once again for the ABA members. As you guys know, the past 2 year pandemics has forced a lot of business to go online. And the whole world, whether you're young or you're old, you have been on a crash course to learn how to use internet technology to go search, go make purchase items, and look up informations. So nowadays, having a website for business is more important than ever than before. So based on that, what I'd like to share with everybody is how do you build a successful business winning website. Okay. Michelle, please go to the next slide. Cybertegic and myself, we've been an ABA member for the past 6 years. And I'm honored to be a member in support of ABA. One of the things that ABA is very good at doing is to share information, vital and useful information to help business grow through use of tool and use of knowledge. And like I said, we're very fortunate that we're an expertise in the field of internet marketing as well as website development. And today, I have gathered some of my senior staff here today to share with you what is the latest trend in web design and how do you build a website and protect your website from hackers. All right. Michelle, next slide, please. Very quickly, Cybertegic, my company, specializes in two things. One is on website design, focusing on 3 platforms. So later on, we're gonna have FAQ sessions. If you guys do use one of these platforms and you have particular question about in regards to whether WordPress, Shopify, or Magento, feel free to ask us during the FAQ sessions. Okay. Next slide, please. And of course, once you build a website, a very important part is you need to be able to drive traffic and customer to see the content that you have generated on the website. And from there, your ultimate objective is to generate leads or sales. Today's focus is mainly on website design, but towards the end, I'm having my marketing manager share a little bit of the digital marketing trend for 2022 to help everybody understand what is the major direction to look forward to when you're thinking about marketing for your site. And then, of course, at the very end, we're going to open it up for FAQ sessions. Any question you have in regards to website design or marketing, please feel free to ask during the session. We are here to help. Right. So without further ado, I wanted to hand this thing over to my website development project manager, Michelle Sudu. And then Michelle will go through, this is going to be a crash course, and bear with us. We're going to have a lot of information to share with you, but we're going to go through a lot of useful information, and then do write down your question and hold your question at the end at the FAQ sessions. We're going to have a brainstorming session and then share more information with you. Michelle, the stage is yours. Please take over.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Like James said, my name is Michelle, and I am the project manager for the web development team at Cybertegic. And thank you for joining us today. And I hope that today's topic and information will give you some good insight on how to build the best website for your business, or at the very least, lead you down the right path. So the topic we will be talking about today is how to build a good website and why it's so important. First, what we know about the pandemic is that all consumers and businesses have been pushed to the digital space, right, to accommodate for social distancing and contactless shopping and interactions. So just looking at the numbers, e-commerce sales has grown 25.7% in the 2020. It's forecasted to continue to grow steadily into the double digits in 2023, and e-commerce sales makes up about 22.3% of all total retail sales, up from 13.8% in 2019. So now that we know that e-commerce is not going anywhere, we'll dive into the main topic of this webinar, which is website design and why it's important for your business. So it said that it takes less than a second for a visitor to form an opinion on your website. And most of these first impressions, about 94%, is just design related. 38% of people will leave your website if it has a very unattractive layout. And because of that, 73% of companies are investing in design to help them differentiate and reinforce their brands. Okay, so maybe you already have a website online, or you're new and you would like to take your business online. So where should you start? The first thing you should do is choose the best platform for your business. Looking at the market share for 2021, we can see that at number one, Shopify is holding about 26% of the market share, with companies like WooCommerce and Wix come in second, and at the lower brackets, Squarespace, Weebly, or Magento. So now that you can see that, what is the difference between all of these platforms? So very quickly, Shopify is best for larger businesses. It's kind of an all-arounder. It's affordable and has flexibility. Then you have WooCommerce, which is good for if you have a WordPress website already, and you're looking to add e-commerce or a shopping cart to your website. Then you have Squarespace, which fits right in between. It's the best value for your money, but you give up some of that flexibility. And you have Wix, BigCommerce, which focuses purely on online businesses. And then Magento, which has been around the longest, but they are okay all around, but not that great in terms of ease of use and costs to maintain. So how do you choose the best platform for your business? Here are some factors to consider. There's a difference between hosted and self-hosted. So a hosted platform would be something like Shopify or Wix, that the company itself will host your website. You just pay a monthly fee. A self-hosted would be something like WordPress or Magento that requires you to find your own hosting company. You can host a platform there, but there's a more technical side to it. So additionally, you can also consider how much customization you want on your template. All of these platforms vary in flexibility. You have the ease of content management. Some of these platforms like Magento requires very high technical experience to make updates and changes. You might consider integration of third-party apps like custom shipping or payment options, a platform's customer support, or maybe you need to integrate into your physical store. So you need to consider POS options. So great. So now that you have selected your platform, what next? The next most important aspect is your content. The biggest problem we see with new websites coming up now is that the content is really low. The quality is just really bad and it's just thrown together. So how do you avoid that? The first thing is to consider the look and feel. And we're seeing a lot of trends going towards a more minimal presentation, where your content and your information needs to be very clear for your customers to see. They clearly see what kind of products and offerings that you have. And then, of course, your website needs to be professional looking. It needs to function fully without any errors. And all of this contributes to setting the tone of your brand. Your branding is very important because it needs to be strong enough to build confidence for your customers to buy and also keep coming back to buy more. So as you can see here, a strong logo, a clean navigation, call to action, all of these elements come together to help you build your brand. Okay. So of course, next is your content presentation. your content must be relevant and informational. So what does that mean? It needs to be relevant to the product or the page that you're trying to present. And then also informational. You shouldn't just try to hard sell your products or services, but you should provide information for your customers to make the right decision. Next, also, your content should be engaging and relatable. Present the information from your customer's point of view and then how they can relate and engage. So from this chart, you see that customers are actually looking for content that are video, newsletters, social media images, blog articles, any way they could learn more about your products. And lastly, you should create some kind of urgency on your website, either using some kind of urgent tone and a call to action button to help get a potential customer to pull the trigger. Okay. So now let's talk about how to set your website apart. We'll look at a few of the new trends coming in, moving into the 2022. First one is personalized experiences. So marketers are on average are seeing an increase of 20% in sales when using some kind of personalized experience. And we are also seeing that there isn't quite enough technology fully developed for this yet, but there are ways to shift towards that direction. So for example, a personalized product recommendation. You might have seen this as on the product page. It's a block of image of products that is labeled related products or products that you might like. This is also shown on shopping cart pages, and it creates kind of like a personalized shopping experience based on what products customers are looking at. Another example would be cart abandonment emails. And Shopify has this built in where if a customer is visiting your website, they add a product to a shopping cart, and then for some reason they don't check out, an hour later or a few days later, the email will be sent out to your customer saying, hey, you forgot some products in your cart. And then another example would be location-based services, which would cater your services to a customer based on their location. And these all create some sense of personalization towards potential customers. The next trend that we are seeing is more payment options. So we're all going more digital now, and there's an emerging trend for us to start using something called digital wallets. And I'm sure you've heard of Apple Pay or Google Wallet or even Venmo. So we are seeing that businesses, e-commerce businesses are offering those kind of payment options to their customers. And then, as you know, cryptocurrency is kind of getting popular now. So crypto wallets are also being implemented where they support Bitcoin and BitPay. And then lastly, interest-free deferred payments. This allows customers to finance their purchases with no interest charges using companies like Klarna or Shop Payments, which is provided by Shopify, and PayPal. And it helps, basically it's a buy now, pay later option. And then another trend that we are seeing more so is a shift towards accessible design. Basically, businesses are addressing the needs of customers with disabilities. They are taking a more consideration when designing to choose distinct colors, making sure that text and backgrounds have a good contrast so things are can be read easily, adding alt tags to images. And this basically allows screen readers to simply read a description of the images for the visual impaired to be able to navigate the website and see what content is on there, even though they cannot really see. Another is cleaner navigation and using simple fonts. Again, that trend going to more a minimal look with a consideration of people of disability. Okay, so those are the trends. Now I think you're ready to build your website. And we would like to talk about a few things you should watch out for. So diving in, First is mobile responsiveness. So what do we know? Mobile sales take up about 73% of e-commerce sales. The importance of mobile has not changed in the last decade or couple years, and it's increasing more and more. So make sure that your mobile website is optimized and easy to use just as much as your desktop website. And then coming hand to hand is website speed. So website speed has a direct impact on your e-commerce sales. The first 5 seconds has the highest impact on conversion rates. 0 to 2 seconds has the highest conversion rates. Anything over 3 to 5 seconds has the highest bounce rates. A bounce rate is when a customer or a visitor comes into your website and then leaves immediately. So you don't want that to happen. And then also important to point out is your mobile page is going to be slower than your desktop. We see averages of 15.3 seconds of loading time. So it's good as something to consider and prioritize only the most important information on your webpage, and only include things that are necessary to cater to customers who might not have the fastest internet connections. The next item are legislative compliances and policies. So there are 2 that we will talk about today. First one is ADA, second one is GDPR. First one, ADA stands for Americans with Disabilities Act. Basically, this act prohibits the discrimination of people of disability. That means that everyone must have access to your website, and they must allow users who use the website with assistive tools equally. And this applies to you if you are conducting business with people in the United States. The next one, GDPR, is General Data Protection Regulation. And this actually applies to EU residents. So if you're conducting business with people in the EU, then you need to take this into consideration. Basically what it says is that there needs to be some kind of rights to include some kind of transparency on how the data you are collecting or using or processing is used. They have the right to request that their data can be deleted from your database. And then also there's a restriction on how you can process that data. So these are the 2 policies that will affect your website. We do want to dive in more on ADA compliance. Earlier, we did mention that there is a shift towards more accessible design. And while that does enhance the user experience for people with disability, it doesn't actually protect you from something like a lawsuit dealing with the ADA policies. And to understand that a little bit more, we will talk about 2 different levels of solutions that can be implemented for ADA. The first one is an automated solution. And it's called automated because you're actually using testing tools that are automated to point out any ADA compliance issues, or you are implementing some kind of plugin tool on top of your page to allow users to make adjustments, which are temporary. And again, an automated solution will not protect you from the loopholes in the policies. And the reason we mention this is because there is a rise in people using the loopholes of the policies to go after businesses online. So now we'll talk about advanced solutions. And this one actually has a higher chance to protect your business from the any ADA lawsuits. And this advanced version includes manual testing with people of disability, and then also or consulting with a full service ADA specialist that provides continuous risk assessment and also mitigation to guarantee that your website is ADA compliant. So that is kind of important for you to know. And then the next one is cybersecurity. So as you know, the website the internet's kind of a scary place. So it's very common that you might come across bots or hackers that are trying to bring down your website, or maybe even break into your website to steal your data or your customers' data. So it's very important that you use strong passwords, change them from time to time, choose a reputable hosting provider that has a security measure in place already, or implement some kind of domain level protection or firewall to filter out any of the bad traffic and only allow real users and customers. And then last, probably the most important, is that, so now you have your website. You should have some kind of backup plan in place. And it's important for you to save a copy of your website somewhere safe, and also have some kind of process to bring it back for whatever reason if it goes down. Okay, and congratulations. So now you have a launched website. What's next? Well, to maintain your website is still a long road ahead. A website's like a car. It needs to be maintained continuously and updated. For example, some of the tasks you might see is product listing management. If you have products on your website, even service products, you might need to add new ones, or you might need to edit existing ones. Search SEO or search engine optimization. You need to maintain that the content on your website is relevant, and also it's easy for Google, Yahoo, or anybody searching your websites to find your pages. And then depending on the platform that you choose, you might have regular updates that need to be executed manually. And then you have speed optimization, because you might be adding new pages or new content. So you will continuously need to make adjustment for speed on a regular basis. You might also need a graphic designer to optimize your pages and images so that you're not using media that's bigger than what you need. And then performance monitoring, which is an overall view of your whole website, your SEO score, your ADA score, your speed score. So you need to have a regular schedule to monitor those and then make adjustments to maintain the top performance. And then finally, again, website backup and recovery. You also would probably need somebody who would back up your website on a regular basis so that the copy that you have is most up to date. And if you need to execute any recovery, it would be the most updated version of your website. So all of these tasks all require some kind of internal or external technical team to maintain on moving forward, even after your website is complete. Okay, and that is all the topics I have to cover to help you build a website that will be the most successful and help you with conversions. So before I end my portion of the presentation, I'll just go over some of the takeaways. Again, website design has a huge impact on your business's image and also the conversions. And the quality of your content can seal the deal. It would convince customers to buy your product and also keep coming back. And then mobile is taking over. So it will be more and more important to make sure that your mobile site is taken care of. And then there's an increasing importance for accessible design to cater to all kinds of customers, all kinds of new customers. You should also get specialized help for ADA compliance. And then again, have a backup plan for your website. And then lastly, after your website is launched, have a dedicated team to maintain and monitor your website. Okay, and that's it. So again, like James said, if you have any questions, please save it for the Q&A at the end. And if you have any questions at all, please write it down and we will answer them.
Michelle, thank you for those wonderful information, the research you have done for this this webinar. And I want to share some of my personal experience and story with everybody. As I mentioned in the very beginning, website is becoming even more important than ever for a business. Have you ever come across a website where the website is not working, or it looked like it was from 1970? Can you imagine your impression on that business right away when you see such a website, that whether the website is not working, or bottom line, they don't even have a website? It immediately puts a bad image of the business in your mind. So for every business nowadays, it's important to make sure you not only have a website, but you have a well-designed website that properly represents your business. Michelle mentioned a lot of components going into building a good website. And I know there's a lot of factors in there. And this is why we said, if at any time you have a question, but not within the confined enough time of this this webinar, do feel free to email us and ask us for advice. This is what we do. We could probably answer your question very easily within a few minutes. But it is important that when you're building it, you pick the right platform. You build the right content into it. But nowadays, watch out for ADA compliance, as we see there's a lot of lawsuits going on out there for website that's not ADA compliance. And then also make sure that it has a proper backup and security measure in place. So in case if you get hacked by hackers, that your web design company can quickly help you bring it back. So your business operation won't be impacted. With that said, now we're into our second portion of the webinar, which is now that you have this wonderful website that represents your business that launched, and you need traffic, you need targeted people, in particular audience that's looking for your services, come to your website. And as you know, nowadays, with the power of AI on the internet, advertising on Google, Facebook, YouTube, can actually very accurately target the people that's actually looking for your product and services. I'm going to have Jennifer, who is our marketing manager, share with you what are some of the major channels that you can look out for to advertise in 2022 to bring in your customer into your website. So without further ado, Jennifer, I'll let you take over the stage and please share the information with everybody.
Sure, thanks, James. So yes, I'm Jen, Marketing Manager at Cybertegic, and I'll be discussing the latest digital marketing trends for 2020. For the agenda, I'll go over the major online advertising channels that can help businesses generate leads and sales. Secondly, I'll go over the best ad channels for B2B and B2C businesses. And lastly, go over a couple of successful case studies. Okay. So quickly, I'm going to be going over these topics later on in different slides, so don't worry. So first, the major advertising platforms for both B2B and B2C companies are, one is SEO, and it's great for getting your website ranked on major search engines, especially like Google. Then we have Google Ads, which is paid search for leads and sales generation. The next one is Facebook, and Facebook is the largest social network worldwide, and with 2.9 billion users monthly, and it's great for reach and lead generation for your followers. Next, we have Yelp. Yelp is a local search platform, great for retail and service businesses. And then lastly, we have YouTube, which is great to promote your product and services through videos. Okay. So now I'm going to be talking about SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's a marketing campaign that consists of 4 elements. Content curation, which is providing knowledge to your customers through like videos, blogs, and even through like email newsletters. Link building, which is online word of mouth, which is PR basically. And then we have social media, which is providing updates and news through social channels. And the last one is on-site optimization, which is optimizing your website structure to make sure that it's easy to read through Google's, robots as an index through your website. So as you simultaneously put all these elements into practice, your SEO campaign should successfully gain you free traffic to your website, get your website ranked on the top pages of Google, and build your brand exposure as experts for that specific keyword that users searched for. Okay. And for B2B, SEO campaigns aim to increase brand exposure and generate quality leads that will eventually turn into sales through actions like demo requests, white paper downloads, or even newsletter signups. SEO is also great for B2C. It gets the visitors to make immediate purchases on your website and serves for informational purposes. So for 2022, I mean, you still have to practice all these different 4 pillars in SEO, but however, in 2022, search engines will want to see more improvements for the following to meet users' needs. So we want to make sure that we have good quality content, improved website speed, better user experience, making sure your website is mobile friendly, and then your website architecture to make sure that it's not confusing to Google robots. So search engine is, one of the main ways in which people discover products and services online. So implementing SEO can get your business ranked high on Google and can lead to an increase in business. Okay. Next, we have Google Ads. It's paid advertising, meaning you pay whenever someone clicks on your ad. There are many options for B2B and B2C advertisers, such as search ads, like the example we have in the slides here. These are text ads, and they're based on search keywords. Then we have local search ads, or for your Google My Business page, ads that target ready-to-buy customers locally within your area. Then we have display ads that retargets ads to users based on online habits and browsing history. And then lastly, we have product shopping ads, or PLA, product listing ads, which is great for B2C e-commerce businesses, as they can target your ads to people who are ready to buy, which I'll talk more in the next slides. Okay. So in 2022, we're going to see an increase in PLA advertisers and shoppers, as PLA generates about 20% of retail paid online clicks. So again, PLA ads are great for customers who are ready to buy. PLA ads have higher reach and placement in Google search results because they're actually placed on the top of the Google search results. And sometimes they can be also visible in Google partner websites like YouTube or your Gmail and other major online websites out there. They also have a 30% higher conversion rate compared to text ads because they're more visual and display prices up front. So people are more willing to click on, for example, this product, trench coats. I can easily click on, see what the trench coat looks like, what the color offering is, and the price. And for that reason, they have a 23% lower cost per click versus the traditional text ads. Okay. Third platform is Facebook. Facebook is a great way to generate leads and sales because they have options to advertise depending on your business objectives. So what are your objectives? Is it to build awareness? Is it to build consideration? Or is it to get conversions? Either way, Facebook offers different ad types to reach your goals, brand awareness and social sharing through page likes and followers. It's great for lead generation by creating forums and event registrations. You can create product shopping ads for retail and e-commerce. And it's also great for promoting your videos for branding. Okay. The next platform we have is Yelp. Yelp is just not for restaurants. It's great for retail and service types of businesses, such as like lawyers, home and auto repairs, realtors, and small boutique stores. With over 100 million unique searches on Yelp, it's one of the largest review platforms and local directory platforms out there. So about 97% of people on Yelp make a purchase after visiting the platform, and 51% purchase within 1 day. So your ads can be actually displayed to high intent users looking for your types of services within your local area. So like I said, Yelp is not just for restaurants, but It's also great for different types of categories as well. So like I said, there's 100 million different, searches on Yelp, and here are some of the top categories that people are searching for per month. We have, retail at 38 million searches, professional searches at 4 million. We have auto searches at 15 million per month, and then home and local at 32 million per month. Okay, and the next one is YouTube. YouTube has more than 2 billion users a month, and it's all about visual information. YouTube is a great channel to advertise your products and for users to learn about your services. Data shows that users are 4 times more likely to use YouTube versus any other platform to find information about a brand, product, or service. YouTube actually contributes to 35% of businesses' ROI, following other platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And there's actually different ways or different types of videos you can create to promote your brand, your products and services. A lot of them are informational videos. There's product demonstrations, customer reviews and testimonials. And then you can also create behind the scenes videos of your business process as well. Okay. And then I'm going to go over a couple case studies. Here we have a client who's in trade finance industry. What was challenging for them is that their website was not ranked on Google for the industry keyword. And so what Cyberstrategy does is that we implemented a full SEO campaign and launched Google Ads. And within 2 years, we're able to increase our organic website traffic and got them ranked on the first and second position page of Google for their keywords such as international trade finance company and the best export finance companies. And then also with Google Ads, we're able to increase their leads and reduce the cost per lead by 68% within 6 months. Another case study is we had a personal injury lawyer that came to us and needed more clients. What we did is we set up a Yelp Ads campaign for them, and we were able to increase the ROI by 136% within 3 months. And they were able to decrease their cost by lead by 18%. And by the 6th month, their ROI increased by 208%. And then the cost per lead decreased by 108% within the 6 months. And then in conclusion, I'm going to quickly summarize all the major channels. We want to make sure that you understand your advertising options. Again, there's SEO, which is great for Google ranking and free traffic. There's Google Ads, where we have many ad options for B2B and B2C. And then there's Facebook, where you can generate leads and sales based off your business objectives and create different ads to cater towards that. And there's Yelp to gain mobile business. And then YouTube, where you can create product and service videos. So all of these channels are great for people to discover your products and services online, and that can help you grow your business. And that's it. And if you guys have any other questions, please let us know.
Thank you, Jennifer, for also gathering that information and to share with the ABA members. So everybody, just as I mentioned, once you build your website and you launch it, the next thing you have to plan out for is how do you bring targeted audience who's in need of your product or services to your website. Now, based on Jennifer's presentation, as you can see, nowadays there is a lot of different advertising channels. You could advertise on Google, you could advertise in Yelp or YouTube or Facebook. So no one business advertising strategy is going to be the same. You need to really sit down with an expert or with your internal marketing manager and think through what channels is the right channel for you. And then from there, conduct some research to find out what is the potential pool of search demand on that channel for you. How much advertising budget should you be budgeted for? But most importantly, your testing period. If you want to test it for 6 months, what is your expectation based on your advertising budget? How much return do you want to see generate? Okay, all these should be planned out and then adjusted accordingly each month based on the data that actually comes back. And then if the return is good, of course, add on to your advertising budget. Okay. So for this segment, again, we don't have that much time, so we kind of cover a lot of things in a short period of time. If you do have a particular question about your business, please in the chat group or email Johnny directly. We'll find an answer for you. We're here to help. All right. So I wanted to help conclude my team's presentation. I want to thank everybody that for attending. We're going to open up to FAQ very soon, but just wanted to help everybody prepare for 2022. Once you launch, prepare, build your website and launch it, make sure you also have advertising and marketing plan in place to support your website once it's launched. Okay. With that said, I would like to open this thing up for FAQ if anybody have any question. But sometimes people are shy and you prefer to just email us your question privately. That is okay too. But I'm going to open up the floor and have Bianca ask if anybody have any particular question for the FAQ session. Bianca?
Hi, so I was just looking through and it seems that Johnny has already answered it, so I don't have any questions so far. But to state it out loud, one person asked what PLA stands for again, and Johnny responded with product listing ads. So it's the product ad that shows picture, price, and ratings.
Right.
If you guys have any other questions, please put it in the chat box right now or the Q&A box. Whichever is fine.
Okay. So while we're waiting to see if people add on questions into the chat box, I do want to point out a couple of things to help people prepare for their website. One is we mentioned about call to actions, and we've seen in a lot of web design that there was a lot of good information on the side, but it doesn't ask people to do something. Now today, if you're selling a service or you're selling a product is easy. Just the call to action is buy here, buy now, here's a promotion. But for services, a lot of time, if you're a lawyer or you're a realtor, you're a financial advisor, do offer a white paper of information for people to download. So in turn, you can capture their email information, or offer free consultations for people to join so you can get the conversation started. But do have that call to action on your website. Now, during the presentation, we also talk about how important website speed is. Nowadays, as you guys see the number, over 73% of e-commerce sales was conducted on mobile. Mobile means it's either on cell phone or it's either on tablets. You have to make sure your website is loading fast on those devices. If not, Google will actually rank you lower and you might not even be in the first page of Google. Now, how do you test to see how fast your website is? Very simple. Just go to Google and search website speed test. Okay, you will pop up with a couple of websites that shows you how all you need to do is type in your website's address, and then it'll tell you what your website speed score is compared to others, and then that gives you a sense of whether your website is slow, and they even give some suggestions of what you need to do. Of course, if you find out your website is running slow, this is the time to sit down with your web design company and saying, hey, maybe you need a makeover now. The website needs to be maintained. The coding needs to be optimized so it runs faster. Okay. Lastly, we did mention about ADA and GDPR compliance. Now, you don't have to worry so much if you're not doing business with a European customer for GDPR. Okay. But you have to watch out for ADA. We've seen, I think in 2020 alone, there was 200,000 lawsuits filed against website owners for not being ADA compliant. Okay, so do watch out for this. And Michelle did mention in the presentation, there's two ways to do ADA compliance. One is the really cheap and the bandage way, which is to put on an ADA compliance tool. You could do that if you're a small business and you can't afford the full enterprise solutions. But today, if you're a big business and you're doing millions of dollars and you know you're a big target for people to come and sue you if your website is not ADA compliant, you will need to use what we call the full ADA compliance services, where specialists that we actually partner with, they will look at the site and have blind testers actually test every aspect of your site and making sure that all the loopholes, all the errors are corrected. Okay, and this is done on a monthly basis just to make sure you are covered and you minimize your chance of getting a lawsuit for ADA compliance. Right. So those are the things to watch out for. But keep in mind, guys, a web store is like opening a physical store. You have to continue to maintain it. You don't just open it up and then don't change the front end and then don't make it pretty over time and provide promotion and features. You got to constantly maintain it because people are constantly coming to see what is new, what are the new product, new information, and these is the area where you would generate leads and sales for you. So do maintain it on a monthly basis and make it to help your business generate leads and sales. Okay. With that said, I would like to conclude our presentation. I don't think there's any questions, but feel free to contact us afterwards if you do have additional questions. At this time, I would like to turn the stage back to Dennis, and hopefully this is helpful for our ABA members.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you and your team. I think a lot of people, when they think about website nowadays, it's like so many things coming, right? And I really appreciate how you have your team kind of lined up, kind of think through the process from the design perspective, right? Then from the execution perspective. That's so helpful. And I think we've got to be very top of mind as we do this, because as people look at their website, sometimes you've been asked in pull different directions. So really appreciate with that clarification. Now, in case you missed some of these things, I know you can play it back on Facebook. That's fantastic. But if you need further more questions or more answers to your questions, come to our events. You can meet James and his team. They do appear a lot, so it's always good to do that. Well, listen, we take about an hour of everybody's time this evening, and I think people were saying, I think I read it earlier, they want to start dinner already, and we need to do so. But so that's why we make it this way, right? It's do it this way on a webinar, so we can just shut off and be where we need to be. But hopefully next year everything will be back in person. But I really want to thank you again, James, and your team. And Bianca, thank you so much for putting everything together. And so without ado, we'll say a good evening for everybody. So thank you so much.
Thank you.